Greetings and salutations. I return to talk about one of the few reasons I still watch television. That is Doctor Who, Series 6. You have been warned. There are spoilers included. You don't like? Go away. Doctor Who has been the longest running sci-fi series that continues on with its 6th series since its return in 2005. Matt Smith is returning for his 2nd run as the Doctor. Now, well, there are those out there who prefer David Tennant, who preferred he never left. I rather like Matt Smith's version of the Rogue Time Lord. He is a mix of random wackiness to the downright deeply serious. Let's put it this way: there are those out there who will probably never given him a chance and will never appreciated the speech he gave at the end of the Pandora Opens, or just has seen it and is not impressed. I'm sorry, that was a good scene. Down to opinion that. Plus, the way the series had been going, with the 4 specials we got instead of an actual series, all because David Tennant was busy with things. Something had to change. It was getting too dark, too moody. Good grief, the Doctor was getting broody. Things had to change. The humour needed to return. And with Matt Smith, we got to return to the humour again. Now, let us move on. Move on since that's the past. This is to the now to Series 6. Now, Series 6 is just 3 episodes away from ending. And I don't know what the BBC were playing at, but the 6th series was cut in half and aired with a gap of a fair few months between the 2 halves. Cheap trick, BBC. Seriously, cheap! The series began with the high point of the 2-parter, The Impossible Astronaut and Day of the Moon, that begins with the death of the Doctor. This is Steve Moffat at his writing best, along with the earlier series, Blink, which set up fans for what could have been the best series yet, or worse, one of the biggest letdowns there ever to be. It is dark, creepy, with a new alien foe that is creepy to look at, and they've already taken over. No one knows it, and they have this defense mechanism which is downright weird. For taking your eyes off them, you forget all about them. You don't remember one bit. And this sees the return of the mysterious river song. All of the things that this 2-parter did right, it left fans with what they thought was going to be a connecting arc throughout the series, like back in the restart with the Bad Wolf in Series 1 and the Cracks in Series 5. And that was the child first introduced over telephone in the trailer for the series, who was last seen in the episode Regenerating, marking them as a Time Lord. Asking even more questions: who is he? What's she doing there? When are we going to learn more about her? Problem was, not soon enough. Before we get to the 3rd episode, which is Curse of the Black Spot, in which we have this pirate crew being stalked and terrorized by a mermaid. Problem was, this was just a standalone, no continuation from the previous 2-parter, and unfortunately it sets up the precedent for this series as much. It is, frankly, bland as episodes go. Could have been better. I can't say how. It just didn't deliver. Next up is the strangest episode of this series had to offer, which was The Doctor's Wife. In this, the Doctor is following an SOS of an old Time Lord friend, and the Doctor ends up in this odd little remote place where he finds a trio of oddball characters who, one, turns out to be the heart of the TARDIS that had been ripped out and placed into the shell of this woman, and the mastermind of it all, an entity known as only House, who takes over the TARDIS. And this is one seriously weird episode with a dark edge to it, when House has taken over the TARDIS and is tormented Amy, who is stuck in the TARDIS. He finally torments Amy by, yet again, adding to the staple tally of how many times Roy has died by separating them, making her think that they've been separated for so long he's grown old and he's grown resentful towards her. This is an episode you have to see to really decide, do you like it or not? Next comes the two-parter, which marks near the end of the first half, which is The Rebel Flesh, The Almost People. Here we have a story that delves into the ethical area of slave labour and the sense of our identity when you have been pretty much been copied. I wish I could go into this into greater detail, but outside the ethical message there is little more I can remark about. I just don't think that deep enough. It is not as good as the two parts of the series began with, but that is my opinion of it. This episode ends on a cliffhanger, which leads into the series, which in it turns into its own cliffhanger, but more about that when we talk about that one. Either way, it just comes down to the realization that the Doctor has been monitoring Amy throughout the first half of the series, and she's been coming up pregnant, not pregnant, pregnant, not pregnant. What's going on? It turns out that this Amy is not the real Amy. The real Amy has been snatched as I suspect, at the end of the very first episode, when things went down. This two parts is not anything remarkable. Not to me, anyway. And now we come to the series mid-final, which is A Good Man Goes to War, which opens up on the Cyberman fleet under attack. There's panic all around. All the while, Amy has had her child, her daughter, who she's called Melanie, and she's telling her about the man that will come save them. Now, the basic gist of this is it's all a trap to lure the Doctor in and kill him by these strangely odd headless monks who live up to their name. They don't have any heads, which is revealed when they attack. Overall, it's not a particularly fascinating one. There's some sense of build-up, but yeah, we got characters we've never been introduced before. We just got a sense that they're indebted to the Doctor somehow, paying for something, which leads me to one of the best bits of this, frankly unremarkable one, is the Soltarian Commander Strax, who, thanks to the Doctor, has been working as a war zone nurse, and provides some of the most comical moments in this. The payoff of this episode is that a child born to Amy and Rory is actually going to become River Song. And because they've been because the child was conceived in the TARDIS, they became the child of the TARDIS. Make sense? Not really. But then again, Doctor Who usually doesn't make a lot of sense. After a while, after those moments where the Doctor Who has been off the air, we finally see his return with Let's Kill Hitler, which is a misleading name. Because this becomes a problem for many Facebook fan page viewer. And they didn't like that. They would have rather the whole story be what the title said. But no, it is not about that. It's about River Song, her first outing as such. Because we learn that Amy's best mate, who was pretty much shoehorned in, and that was it. We got little more about her besides she was trouble. Basically hijacks the TARDIS, holding the Doctor at gunpoint, under the remark of "Let's go kill Hitler." Yeah. The best bits about this one is that Rory is no longer a bit of a joke, just a die time and again, like the old South Park joke of "Oh my God, they killed Kenny," and he actually shoves Hitler into a cupboard and just leaves him there. And actually, at the end of the episode, Hitler's still left in the cupboard. The main gist of the episode is River Song. Her interaction with her parents, the Doctor, who she almost kills, thanks to upbringing due to the events in The Good Man Goes to War. And, yeah, we get the gist that River Song went to jail over killing someone important. I believe this one is the reveal. Someone important was the Doctor. In this one, the Doctor nearly dies, or almost does die. But unlike in the ending of the fourth series, where David Tennant's Doctor should have regenerated, but we got some BS reason for why he didn't, we actually got good reason why the Doctor didn't die. River Song surrendered every last life she had spare to bring him back. River Song, Rory being awesome, these are good things. The rest of it was meh. Unfortunately, this is going to be a staple of the series, really. Too many mere episodes. At the end of Let's Go Hitler, of course, we got the trailer to Night Terrors. And I thought we were going to have ourselves the next Blink, the nice creepy episode. However, it does begin well enough, with this little boy scared out of his wits, to the point he's actually sending out a mental plea for help. And the doctor's psychic paper detects and he makes the remark of, he's going to make a house call. Honestly, it begins creepy enough. That should get you at least for a bit. Until about halfway and things start to fall together and the doctor starts making headway. We get the reason why these things are happening and it just loses it. The creepiness is gone, and yeah, it's just another 50-50 episode like the last one. 50% meh, 50% good. It could have been better, it just didn't deliver. Now, we come to the last episode aired, which was the Girl Who Waited. And it is one of those stories which there is no outside threat as such. This is just a case of a grand old mix-up that has led one of the companions to get into trouble, and this time is Amy. She's been separated into a different time stream and has to continually keep on the run because she's been stuck into quarantine on an alien planet. And if the service droids get a hold of her, they will give her medication that will end up killing her. And this time stream is moving a lot quicker than the one that Rory and the Doctor are in. This is a story which, unless you don't care about Rory and Amy, it isn't going to appeal to you, because it is a good one for simple fact explores what happened to Amy in those years she was waiting for those two to come and save her. Once again, here we have Rory being awesome. He's been smart. He does what the Doctor cannot, and as he figures out a way to get through to Amy to help her past self to save her from the life she would have had to lead on the run. A good episode that this series is lacking. Now, all in all, it's not been a terrible series, just one that suffered from too many meh stories that just didn't deliver. Thankfully, there had been no return of the likes of all episodes like Love and Monsters, and for old school fans, this one should really dig in the old claws. The Happiness Patrol, or the Happiness Brigade, whatever it's called. Will this series pick up in the last 3 episodes, remain meh, unimpressive, or get worse? Only time will tell, but here's hoping it improves.